So last week we started the halachot of borer, which means separating food on Shabbat, right? So we learned the halachot of borer, and we stopped in the middle of the topic. So we'll just go over a few important things, the idea of borer, and then we'll go into more practical questions. I think we left last week with separating watermelon seeds from watermelon. Right now, that question isn't relevant today anymore. First, it's winter, but second, they're seedless. Melon and other things like that. Can you separate them? And then we'll go also to other questions. But let's just remind ourselves the concept of borer. So as we mentioned last week, borer means creating something new by separating the food and the non-food items. When you have a mixture of peels, let's say, and food, so you can't eat it, so it's a non-edible mixture. When you separate it and you take let's say, the peels out or the pips out or whatever it is, so from the non-edible mixture becomes now to something edible. So you are now creating something new. So that's one important concept we mentioned last week. Another thing we said last week is that you're allowed to eat, right? You're allowed to eat on Shabbat. And many times part of eating means separating the bad from the good. Okay? So you're allowed to eat, but you aren't allowed to create something new. And what defines eating and creating something new is, we said, it's ochel bayad femiyad. You can take the food out, not the junk out. You can take it using your hand or something which extends your hand, but isn't made for separating food, like a sift or funnel or whatever it is. And you can take the food out for an immediate use. If I want to eat right now, or the close meal, which is, I'm preparing now for the meal, I'm cutting salad, so I can also take the good things out of the bad things using the hand or something which extends the hand for the close meal when I'm preparing for the meal. Another important thing which we mentioned last week is that the problem of borer is only when we have a mixture. Okay, only when we have a mixture. And the definition of mixture depends on how many things do I have. If I have one tomato and one cucumber, and in the cucumber, they aren't mixed with each other, right? So a mixture, you need to have quite a few of whatever it is. And also on the size. Okay, so if I have, let's say, 3 cucumbers and 3 tomatoes, depending where you come from, right? 3 cucumbers and 3 tomatoes. So maybe that's not a mixture because they're quite big. But if I have 3 raisins and 3 peanuts, okay, so that's already might be a mixture, okay? Because
actually, logically, that doesn't make much sense.
Why? The idea of a mixture is when you need to start moving things to look for them. So okay, so maybe three raisins, no, that's 5 raisins. Okay, when you have with a big
5 cucumbers and 5 tomatoes. It's the same.
But they're big.
Yeah.
So you don't need to start now looking for the cucumber. It's for the right, you just take it out and that's it. Okay, it's not mixed up with each other. Or if it's spread out on a table. If it's spread out on a table, so it's not a mixture. If I have 20 cucumbers and 20 tomatoes, obviously, and they're mixed up, that'll be a mixture already, right?
Is borer only with food items?
No, and we also mentioned last week, we will also probably mention again this week, it's not just with food items. If you have kids playing with Lego, and the Lego pieces are mixed with each other, and they have black Legos and white Legos, and they want only the white Legos, they can take the white Legos out of the box to use the white Legos, but they can't clean the box from all of the black Legos and now I have a box of what I want to do to build a white wall or the white house.
Right.
The same concepts of borer apply also to non-food.
Yeah, but I see that example of Legos. Explain again what?
Let's say the kids want to play with a Lego set, and they want to build the white house. So they need the white pieces. And they have a box with white and black pieces mixed with each other. They can take the white pieces out of the box to use them. It's taking the food, which means what they want, out of the mixture. But they can't take out all of the black pieces and then have a clean box of white pieces in order to build with them. Because that's borer. Borer means taking what you want out in order to use it. Which brings us to the idea of I can use something, I can eat something. I can't create something new. So when you now take out all the black pieces out of the Lego pieces, so you create now the white pieces that you can use now to build the White House. There's a joke about the White House, but I'm not sure if it works in English. You have to understand a bit of Hebrew also. One of the ministers of Israel, years ago, I think he passed away years ago, he used to be, I don't remember what minister he used to be, but they used to laugh at him that he didn't know English. So he goes once to the States and tells them, do you know that the White House isn't white? And they tell him, yes, I do. Yes, I do, which is a mixture of words. Yes, I do. I do know it's not white. Or in Hebrew, yes, I do means they'll paint it with white. It's fine. Yeah, but that's it's a joke we liked as kids. I'm not sure if. Anyway, that's as kids before it's funny. More it was funny when you knew which person they were talking about. And anyway, okay. So now we are back to this week. Can I take the pips out of a watermelon or out of a melon? Okay, just before I want to eat. Okay, so that's a question. What's the regular way of eating watermelon? Taking off the pips. And we mentioned that many poskim hold that you can eat fruit in the regular way of eating fruit or eating food. So if part of the way you eat watermelon is just clean off the pips just before you eat them, you can clean off the pips before you eat them. Okay, even if the pips are inside and mixed inside, then you can scrape them off with your hand. Okay, just before you eat it. So many poskim hold you can clean a watermelon before you eat it. Why? Because we said you're allowed to eat on Shabbat, right? And whenever it's considered a way of eating, it'll be permitted. Whenever it's considered more of creating something of a mixture, clean the mixture, so that will be a problem. Okay, so that's about taking off the pips. Okay, just before you eat it. Okay, because when you take a piece of watermelon on a regular day, how do you eat a piece of watermelon? You take out the pips. If it's an action of eating, it's permitted. Okay, for most of the poskim. Some poskim say that you shouldn't take out the pips. You should take a bite of the watermelon, and if you have pips, just spit out the pips. Okay, so that's some poskim say. The kids, I'm sure as kids, you like to eat watermelons and then try to shoot the pips, right, and spit them out. So maybe that would be considered for them the way of eating. But that's when you eat the pips. When you serve the watermelon, so now it's not cleaning the watermelon isn't a way of eating. Cleaning the watermelon it's a way of creating clean watermelon. So when you serve the watermelon, you're making a plate, you shouldn't take off the pips. You can do it maybe a bit bashinui, like a bit not in a way, why you move the watermelons into the plate, or just shake them a bit and put them on the plate, which means it's the shinui, the fact you're doing a change from the regular way of cleaning the watermelon. You're not just acknowledging of it's Shabbat, you're distancing the cleaning the watermelon from creating a clean mixture to more of a way of eating. Okay, so that's about a watermelon. Can you use, here I have your question. Do you know those, I'm not sure how to call them, the Brita water cans the filtered water cans?
Right.
Can you use a filter to clean water on Shabbat? Some houses have that small tap, right, that filter the water. Can you use a filter to clean water on Shabbat? Let's say there's no problem with electricity. Okay, no problem with that. You aren't turning anything on, no lights on, no pumps on. You're just opening the tap and letting water to come in through the filter. Can you clean water? Can you filter water on Shabbat? Many of us have a filter at home. Maybe from now on Shabbos, not just bottled water. The answer is that you can clean water on Shabbat. And why is that? First, we'll make 3 groups of water or any other liquid. If it's a liquid that you can't drink it without cleaning it, you cannot clean it on Shabbat. And why is that? By filtering it on Shabbat, you are creating something new. You have in the olden days, maybe it'll be mud mixed up with water, and that's what you have to drink. So you just took it out from the well, and now you have a lot of mud mixed in it, so you can filter it. And now you're creating something new because you couldn't drink the water without it. That is a problem on Shabbat. Okay. If it's water that I can drink it, but for some reason I prefer not to drink it like that. For example, water. Another example is I have wine, and I noticed it was, let's say, homemade wine. Homemade wine, but it has sometimes on the bottom of the wine like dead yeast and other parts of the wine. And many times it's just a bit. If you make wine, so you sift it again and again, by the time you finish making the wine, so you have just a small amount of yeast on the bottom, which means that you can drink it. You can drink it. It will be unfiltered grape juice or unfiltered wine. You can drink it without any problem, but you prefer to have it clean and wine. Another example is orange juice. Many people, maybe even most people, drink the orange juice when it has pulp in the orange juice, but you prefer the smooth feeling. Can you sift the orange juice on Shabbat? And the answer is, since the definition of borer is creating something new, and here I'm not creating anything. I could drink the water beforehand. I could drink it now. I could drink the grape juice beforehand. I can drink it now. So I'm not creating anything new. Maybe I'm making it a bit finer, a bit smoother. Okay, but I'm not creating anything. And therefore, if you can drink it without any problem, then it is permitted on Shabbat. It's permitted on Shabbat. So can you use your filtered water on Shabbat? Yes. The answer is yes, because you can drink the water even without it. If it's something which is in between, it's in between. You can drink it, but it's not so, doesn't taste so nice.
Rabbi Wendy, the marketing companies would have you think that it's a different product altogether.
What is it?
Pulp and pulpless orange juice. The marketing companies would think that they're different. They'd make you think it's different products.
It's different. It's true. They make you think it's different. But in the end, it's everyone can drink it. You aren't giving here any new ability. Okay, maybe you'll give it a different tag, but you can drink it beforehand. You can drink it now. And it's the same. It's the same thing. Obviously, also when I have also grape juice,
but it's called new and improved. Most of these products.
Well, some people will say, I want the pulp, right? But obviously, but it's a good point. Even when I have filtered water, obviously it is improved, right? It's improved. Why am I using the filter on Shabbat? Obviously to improve the water, right? It's filtered water. If someone has wine, okay, most people will drink it. But he likes his wine clear. He doesn't like his wine when it has unfiltered wine. Obviously, when he filters it, it is improved, right?
Right.
That's why he's filtering it. That's why he wants to filter it. But since that's the regular way of drinking it, even when it's unfiltered, and you can drink it, and most people drink it or can drink it when it's filtered, it's not a big enough change in the liquid to consider it as something which is something new. A new creation here, and therefore there's no problem of borer. Okay, so that's about using a filtered water on Shabbat. And the same will be for orange juice, because both of them can drink it the same as water. But I like to drink filtered water. Okay, that's what I like to drink. What about soup? Okay, if we talked about liquids, what about soup? I think we mentioned last week that if you have soup with big chunks of vegetables inside it, so the big chunks, they aren't considered the mixture in the soup. But if it's small chunks, and things which are cut to small pieces, then you have a problem of borer. Okay, so let's say I want to have in my soup, in my pot, just the vegetables, only the vegetables, and I want to throw out the broth, okay, the liquid, the water. So I can't take out the liquid and pour it because I'm separating and taking out what I don't want. And what I should do is I use a spoon or whatever it is to take out the vegetables that I want. Okay, so separating is also between liquids and solids. Okay, even if they're mixed up with each other, also that could be liquids and solids. Many people have a question on Shabbat about separating or opening cans. When you open a can, so I think most cans have or brine or liquid or some oil, like tuna chunks in oil. Can you open a can on Shabbat? And if you open it, can you separate it? So about opening a can, we can open a can on Shabbat. It's not the topic of this class, but many poskim say you can open a can on Shabbat. Okay?
It's making clean.
Let's make a new kli. That's a whole new topic. It's not borer. It's kind of the question of boneh. Is the boneh in kelim? Is it creating a new kli? Are you creating something new? Is something which you can, which today you throw out almost right away, immediately to recycling or whatever? Is that considered something new? Is that considered creating at all? That's a whole topic. We won't discuss that today. So let's assume opening a can isn't a problem. Okay, let's assume that it's not a problem. What about separating the food? Okay, I have tuna in oil. What do? Can I pour the liquid out, or do I have to take out tuna out of the oil? So if I pour the liquid out, what am I taking out? What am I moving? The bad things, right? The psolet. And if borer, we said the rule of borer is ochel. You actually take out the food. So if you open a can of tuna on Shabbat, you need to take a spoon and take out the tuna and put it on your plate. What about pickles? What is it? So that you can open the tuna on Shabbat, but then you shouldn't pour the liquid out. Just take out a spoon, take out the tuna out.
So why is it not there for kill? It's like a watermelon.
Just like the watermelon there, because it's a good question, but you're asking why isn't the watermelon there chachila? Okay, and here it's okay. Yeah, why isn't the tuna like the watermelon? And the reason is that when we said about watermelon, you can shake it off. It's when I take the piece of the watermelon and just about to give a bite into the watermelon, then I take off the seed, the pip, right? So that's mamash derech. It's really derech chinam. I'm on the way to take a bite, and part of the bite is just before I just shake off the seeds, right? So that's part of the action of eating. Take a fork, take my food in, bring it to my mouth. All that is the same action of eating, but taking the tuna out of the can, maybe you'll be preparing to eat, but it's not the action of eating. Right? It's not the action of your eating. You now take it out and you pour lemon juice on it and maybe add mayonnaise. So it's not the action of eating. It's action of preparing food for a meal. It's not an action of eating.
So for fire, you have a piece of watermelon. You cut off a decent sized slice. It's full of seeds, and you spend 2 to 3 minutes removing the seeds before you eat the piece. You can't do that.
When we talk about watermelon, why? Just as you're going to eat the watermelon.
And you can't do that.
Right, correct. Okay. What about pickles? With pickles, can I take out the water from the pickles, or do I have to take out the pickles out, the cucumbers? And here we have, again, the difference between a definition of a mixture. Tuna is usually mixed in with the water, right? Sometimes you even squeeze out a bit of the tuna to take out the water. Tuna it might be one chunk, but it's many small pieces together. A pickle, it's big pieces of pickles, and they aren't mixed in the water. You don't have to do so much separation in it. So you can take out, if a pickles, you can pour the water out of the pickles. Okay? because we said borer is only when I have a mixture. If there's no mixture, there's no borer.
There's pickles in the broth.
So the pickles are so big, okay, compared to the brine, and the standalone, you just take one out. It isn't even mixed up in the brine, so it's not considered a mixture. And you can see that here we have a question: how do you define a mixture? How do you define? And let's just say another sentence. What about olives? Are olives a mixture or not? And the answer will be, with olives, we have a question. Somewhere there it's hard to give a border. Okay, with tuna, we say the water, brine, the oil, whatever it is mixed into the tuna. Sometimes you even need to squeeze the tuna out. That's for sure a mixture. Pickles are big, they stand alone. You take out one, it comes out, I wouldn't say dry, but it comes out without just a few drops of water on it. That's not a mixture. What about olives, especially if they have hulls that took the pips out? So there's a bit of brine inside. Is that a mixture? Not a mixture? The answer is, good question. It's a question. Sometimes we can live even with questions. And therefore, when you open a can of olives, don't pour the water out. Take the olives out of the can, because we have a mixture. But it really gives an example that we don't have a clear answer of what's a mixture, what's not a mixture. And that's their life. Sometimes we don't have a clear answer.
So if you take the wholly out of that, and it's left in the can, it's just not for you.
So you can pour the liquid out. Yeah. Okay. A fly, Sarah Mashkim, he came to Paro on Shabbat. Well, I'm not sure it was on Shabbat, but listen. And the fly came into the cup of wine. Okay, what does Sarah Mashkim do? Is he allowed to take the fly out, or does he need to take out a bit of liquids inside with it? If it's only one fly, we have a question. Is it considered a mixture, not considered a mixture? In any case, it's better to take out a bit of the liquid also, and then you aren't really doing a separating here. But if it's many flies fell into the soup, so many of us wouldn't drink it, okay? But that's something else. If you take just a bit of liquid out, everyone knows you aren't trying to take out the liquid, you're trying to take out the flies, and happens to be also a bit of liquid came out with it, so you should take out a lot of liquid in it, okay? A lot of it. Let's say you're in a sukkah, and not flies, okay? Not flies, you're in the sukkah, your son is playing with a ball, and 5 leaves from the schach fell into the chicken soup. The ball was sent out of the sukkah, but now you have 5 leaves, small leaves from the nice schach you brought with small leaves in the soup. What do? So don't take out just a bit of a leaf and a bit of water, because obviously you're taking out the leaves out. Take out quite a bit of soup, maybe a cup of soup, and then what you're taking, you aren't separating the junk from the soup. You're taking out soup that has junk in it. Okay, that's instead of insects, instead of flies. Probably the last halacha. Oh, we have a few minutes. It's winter now, right? So in winter, many of us like to drink tea. Okay, so you make tea on Shabbat with in a tea bag. Okay, can you take the tea bag out of the tea? What could be a problem? What? It's solid. I'm taking out what I don't want from the cup of tea. But I have your question. Is it a mixture? Is the tea bag mixed inside the water? No. So is there a problem of taking the tea bag out? No. Even here, some will say take it out with a spoon and a bit of tea inside it. And why is that? In the tea bag, what do we have? Tea. And the tea in the tea bag, is that mixed up with the leaf? Yes. So for sure, what you shouldn't do is take out the tea bag and leave it above the cup and let the water drip inside, because then obviously you're doing here an action of separating. Okay, you're taking out the tea bag and you define it as solid and separating it. That's a problem. But if you take out the tea bag and right away put it into the garbage can or whatever, that for many poskim it is permitted. It is permitted. Okay, so that's making tea on Shabbat. The next halacha is, and we'll probably conclude with that, although we mentioned it already. See how much time we have still. Another question of tea. Another question of tea. Although I think for quite a bit of time I haven't seen such. Well, maybe you see it. When I was a child, we used to have it. I think we actually you notice today. If you go to Shmach and Yehuda, you can buy those tea mixtures, right? And you have a jug of tea, and you put it inside. What?
Teapot.
A teapot. Yeah, you put it inside. Can you use a teapot on Shabbat? So if the leaves are on the bottom of the teapot, and you're pouring just from the top, so there's no mixture here, right? The mixture is only when I get close to the leaves, and then I have a mixture. So if I have a teapot, and it has a liter of tea inside it, and let's say only in the last 100 milliliters, only there I have a mixture of leaves and tea. So I can use the teapot on Shabbat, and pour the water. Okay, pour the water. When I get really close to the leaf, then I have a problem. Okay, then I have a problem. So some say, don't take out when you get already close to the leaf. So stop. Don't use the teapot on Shabbat. Okay. And some say even in a case like that, it's permitted. Okay, it's permitted, and the reason is because many people will still drink tea, and if they have the tea and the mixture and the leaves inside, they'll just top it with the teeth and then just clean the mouth a bit and continue drinking. Which means many people, they'll see the tea, if they got to the end of the tea, and say, okay, I'll still drink. It's okay, so that's the end of the tea. Fine, give it to me. It's very Israeli when you go out on a hike, you bring the coffee thing with you, and you tell them, right, you do hikes. What does the last one? Does he get also coffee, or says no? Thank you very much. There's too much coffee inside, and I don't want. What does he say? If it's a young Israeli, obviously give to me. Oh, what about the grains of coffee? It's fine. I'll be fine for it. I'll just spit it out afterwards. So we'll still drink it. Okay, so that's about the tea. But in any case, it's better when you get to the end of the tea not to pour the water out. And we'll just mention one more halacha, which we mentioned already today. We also mentioned last week. Borer isn't just with food. Okay, borer could be also with books, could be also with games, could be also with cutlery. Okay, borer is anytime we have a mixture of things.
Somewhere that some that's clean and some that's not clean.
Exactly. I have silver and clean. I can't take out the non-clean ones. If I want to use the clean ones, I can take the clean ones out of the non-clean. If I have spoons mixed up together with forks, and I want to have soup, and everything's a mixture, there are quite a few silverware together, I shouldn't start separating them, but whatever I need for now, I'll take to use for now. Okay, so that is that's permitted. For the meal, if for now I'm setting up the table, I can take knives and forks together. If I say I wash them and they're now all of them dry together, I can take all of them together, and I put the knife on the right side, the fork on the left side, the spoon next to the knife. Right, I can separate it. Why is that? Because here everything is food, or which means everything is needed. Right, I'm not taking out the junk or the not needed thing out of the mixture. I'm putting the food here and another food here, another food here. Everything is food, so that's why there's no problem of borer. And we'll conclude here.
Thank you, Rabbi Lindy.